Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually one that I recorded at the very beginning of the week, and then something happened to the audio. I have no idea what, and I got caught up with a bunch of stuff. Also why my background is different today. But anyway, I was super busy. I've been trying to stay consistent in weekly post weekly, but I've been a little off my game lately. I feel like quarantine has been busier than I thought it would be. I'm just trying to get a lot of things done before my schedule goes back to normal. So anyway, today's video is going to be just a basic on abs. I feel like a lot of people discuss this, and I feel like I repeat a lot of these things all the time, but I continue to get the same questions, so I will make another video on it, and hopefully when someone else asks me something, I can direct them to this and it will kind of answer most of the basic things. Let's get into the video. So pretty much abs, you have to remember they're just like any other muscle group. There's no reason why you should train them any different, really. Obviously, you're not going to go as heavy as you would with legs and stuff like that, but this thing you see with most workout videos where it's like, oh, do 25 plus sets of abs and don't add any weight, like that's not really what you should be doing if you're trying to strengthen your abs and thicken them up a little bit just so you can see them better. Abs are nice, but a strong core is nicer, and that should be your primary focus. Once you have a strong core, you can focus on building your abs, but I feel like that's first and foremost. You need that foundation. It also helps you with all of your other lifts, which who doesn't want to improve in general, you know? So please remember to work out smart. You know, add more weight to your ab workouts sometimes. When you do so, make sure you're keeping your form. You're not using your back, you're not using your arms to use or lift that weight, but always engaging the abdomen. Be smart about the weight you add. I'm not saying add like 45 pounds, but definitely challenge yourself. Another thing, you don't always have to go up to 25 reps. Go to failure, or if you can only get to 8 sometimes, that's cool, but you raise the weight up. Like I said, train them like they're your arms, train them like they're your legs. Like you are constantly overloading and you're constantly trying to make them stronger. Another thing to remember is genetics play a huge role when it comes to abs. I'm not saying they're an excuse to say why you don't or do have abs, but I do know some people that have a high percentage of body fat. It's very noticeable. They can eat whatever they want and they still have that ab and waist snatch all the time, and it's crazy and it's so not fair, but that's how they are. And then I know some people that are super lean, yet they still don't have the abs that you feel like they should have. You know what I mean? So you do have to keep that in mind. If you are one of those people that have to be super lean to have abs, you might not ever really be able to have a full set of abs without getting to a super lean level. And if that's the case, I guess you do have to decide if that's what you want, and if that's what you want, then you're gonna have to stay really, really lean. And that also requires to keep a really balanced diet. You have to be super on point about everything, and sometimes you have to be less lenient than you would be if your genetics are nicer in the whole ab realm. When it comes to abs, you have to remember that you can't spot reduce. I've mentioned this multiple times now, but it's true. Just like you can't get rid of direct underarm fat, you have to overall lose body fat. You can't get rid of belly fat just by doing ab workouts or just by running. Like if you're gonna run or do any type of cardio, the fat is gonna come off of your body wherever your genetics say it comes off first. And usually the first place you gain it in is the last place that it comes off of, and it sucks, but that's how it works for the most part. Yeah, that's why I always say if you are focusing on gaining more muscle, try not to get too caught up with seeing your abs, because if you're trying to get the rest of your body to grow, you're more than likely bulking, which means you're more than likely eating more calories to gain that muscle. And so that means that your body fat percentage is just automatically gonna go up a little bit for the most part, and therefore your abs are less likely to show more. It's kind of going to be the opposite. Obviously, you're not trying to go all out in your bulk and just be super dirty and gain a ton of fat, but it is what it is. And for most bodies, when you're bulking, it's very hard to keep abs or to make them more visible. For me, that's why I've actually never been too focused on abs, because I'm always trying to gain more muscle. It's super hard for me to bulk, and so I feel like abs are the last thing on my list at the moment. I do work them out because I want them to be strong, but where I'm at right now, I feel like I can see definition. I'll probably do a check-in later. Right now it's the end of the day and I feel super bloated, so you're not gonna see anything. But if it were like the morning time or like the afternoon, You could see some definition sometimes, and I'm good with that at the moment, but that's where I say you have to know where your priorities stand and what your body is like, you know, kind of just get to know yourself. Come hand in hand with the question that I do also get a lot, can you gain muscle while also burning fat? And that is possible. In this case, you wouldn't necessarily bulk because you're trying to lose fat, but you would have to really be dialed down on your diet for the most part, or for most people, and you'd have to make sure your workouts are super great to a point where you are building that muscle, but you're also burning fat. That can be very difficult to do, but it is possible, and so I'm mentioning it because that would mean that you technically might be able to get abs or show them more while you're also trying to gain muscle elsewhere. I know I just kind of said the opposite beforehand, but that's because it's usually the way things work. However, if you are willing to put in that extra time, effort, work, and be super disciplined, it's not impossible to do both at the same time. And the last thing that I feel like is one of the top questions that I get asked is what exercises are best to build abs? And for that, I think everybody is different, but I will say you should probably stay away from machines for the most part, unless you are pretty experienced already and you know how to make sure that your abs are the only things working. It's so easy to just directly use your back to like pull down the machine or use your arms and just either injure yourself or not even work out your abs. So if you're a beginner especially, I would stick to floor workouts. Honestly, a lot of things are helpful. I can make an ab video later and put it up for you guys, but literally just go on YouTube or Google and you will find, or even Instagram, you will find so many ab workouts that are just like floor work with some weights sometimes. I also really like hanging exercises, so if you have a gym access already, you can go on those and do like leg raises or leg lifts, whatever they're called. You can do twists and just a bunch of different things on there involving some weights. And again, when you're working them out, always be sure to engage your core. Mind-muscle connection is huge, and feel that squeeze. Always be like squeezing in, you know what I mean? You don't want to just let it puff out. You want to keep it controlled. One exercise that I do 100% recommend is vacuums. They are a basic. I just started doing them again maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I think they help keep your waist so snatched. They are a super old trick in the book, and I feel like if all of those guys used to use them, why did we stop? So I highly suggest those. You can look them up and find out how to do them. They're not too difficult. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I feel like I've covered most of the basic questions that I get asked. If you guys have more, like I said in the beginning, hit me up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye guys.